Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us for this very special careers webinar with one of our most amazing partners that promotes remote work. But first, let me tell you this some housekeeping rules, some things that you need to watch out for, and some things that will get you involved into our careers program. So if you don't know, I'm Laura Torres with Careers. I'm here to support you and guide you into resources that will help you as a military spouse upgrade, upskill, and or advance your career in whatever way, influencing way might work for you. So on this particular occasion, we are bringing the team from FlexJobs to talk to us about best practices, how to navigate their site, as well as their personal career and how they got involved. But first, let me tell you about what's happening today and give you some rules. So we are giving away 3-month membership to 50 Spouseforce members who have registered for this webinar. So make sure that you have completed your name and you have added yourself to the registration so that you can participate and be able to enjoy some of those perks, as well as we have some activities and things going on within our own Facebook community and Spouseforce community that would allow you to participate and earn some more. Now, another thing that I also want to share with you is you got to make sure that you are a military spouse and you are part of our group for you to be able to be eligible for this particular promotion. So, but don't worry if you, for some reason, you are not selected. We have some more great activities going on for you the rest of the month. Now, another thing that we have going on is, of course, next month, this month, we're celebrating military spouse appreciation activities all month long. So make sure that you are joining our rest of the month, because on May 19, we have what I call the Side Hustle Summit. So if you're looking for part-time work, you want to make some great cash, and you want to meet some of our partners who are helping and supporting military spouses, I encourage you to join us. As well as then on May 26th, if you are looking and considering to upgrade your skills to the next highest level of your career advancement, then join us to find out more about training and certifications and how yourself can get involved with that and what those certifications really look like before you invest in your time. So we're giving a plus on this particular 2 additional events. And all the people that register, we're giving away some Chromebooks. So make sure that you RSVP and you let us know. But without further ado, I'm going to tell you who I have here today with us to support us and guide you into navigating the FlexJobs and the remote work search. So I have Casey Capizzoli, who is a military spouse. So I'm very blessed and humbled to have her here. She's an education specialist with a degree in career and mental health counseling. So when you think about career trajectories, let's figure out how Tracy here ended up in this particular line of work, because her master's in science and counseling and human systems potentially doesn't quite spot a career coach, correct? So she is actually a career coach, very professional experience in higher education, nonprofits, and I mean, you name it. She is an amazing contributor to our program. So I'm going to bring Tracy in, and then I'm also going to tell you about our second subject matter expert who's here today, Jess Vival Larson, she has a degree in cultural anthropology, virtual cultures, and college teaching. What does that have to do with remote work? Well, let's ask her. She's also the Director of Employer and Client Support Services here at FlexJobs, and she's celebrating 10 years this month, so congratulations to her. She has supported thousands of job seekers and is passionate about helping others find the right way, the right flex job opportunity, as well as she has evolved herself throughout the organization through multiple careers and supportive services for our clients. So without further ado, let's bring both of our subject matter experts and ask them about their role and just have overall introduce themselves. So ladies, I'll stop talking. Tell me about you. Let's start with Tracy.
Okay, yes, sir. So I have been a military spouse. I'm going on 20 years. I cannot believe it. We started dating before 9/11 and quickly got married after 9/11. And so my career has always been remote since the beginning. I have been a permanent employee, a temporary employee, a contracted employee, and then a freelance employee. So I think I've run the gamut in terms of how I work and where I find work. There have been moments where I have not actually been able to find paid work. And so what I did at that time was get involved in my FRG, and really more so in the volunteer capacities. And I developed a career development or a career exploration workshop for spouses. So that then opened up doors for me to actually get involved with some of the hiring personnel. And then that turned into a freelance opportunity, which then turned into a paid employee partnership. So what I really encourage you guys to do is just explore, be open, make connections. If you can't get it through a freelance opportunity, which we have tons on FlexJobs, then get it through a volunteer capacity and start networking. Never discount your networks through all types of organizations, such as Blue Star Families, your military groups, your FRGs, your neighbors, all your friends. Just get it out there, find your passion, and then it will come to you. And here at FlexJobs, we really do try to work with you guys to identify those quick action-oriented plans so that you can become independent and successful job seekers. But that's just a little bit about myself.
I love that. And I'm applauding here multiple times because you said, great. You use great adjectives and descriptions to create your own unique career path. You got involved, you started searching, you got a little bit more, just more, I guess, goal oriented towards what you wanted to do, what fit for your lifestyle. And I'm glad that you are here to share with us your expertise. But let's go to Jess and find out how she got involved with FlexJobs. By the way, congratulations on your upcoming anniversary. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. It's actually really funny. One of the things we talk to a lot of job seekers about is what jobs we have available, and people really do tend to pigeonhole themselves. And I had done the same thing. And much like Tracy said, I actually found out about FlexJobs through a friend of mine and told her, there's absolutely no way that'll work. I can't work from home. There's no jobs. And so I applied thinking that it was, just kind of a shot in the dark. And I started as a freelancer actually with FlexJobs. And then I was in the research area. So initially I was doing job research, and then I moved into client services. I worked in the writing department. I've worked with the employers. So I've had a kind of dabbling across the entire company. But I never, if somebody had said I was going to work for a job startup, I would have never ever anticipated that be where I went. So absolutely, networking makes a huge difference, and taking those risks and trying things that maybe don't seem like they're an exact fit can be really helpful. So I think it's great.
Absolutely. And I know when I was looking at your bio and I saw your background and your degree in schooling, it's like, who would have thought that career coaching and all the other amazing roles that you have been exposed to, or you have experienced through your career here, that you would really, would have ended up in this. Because when you go to school, you don't think about that. And that's one of the things that here at Spouseforce, we're always trying to coach our military spouses and share the wealth of awareness and say, be open for opportunities. Don't necessarily go by the title or what the schooling sort of degree tells you, because there is a wealth of opportunities out there that you just need to open up yourself to. The key is in the networking and being open to take the next step, maybe a little bit of a risk, and explore opportunities. So thank you so much. And now, without further ado, we're going to go straight into sharing a little bit about our opportunities and the best way for us to be able to navigate this site. But is there anything else that you would like us to know first? A little bit about the site at all, the history, or anything in general?
Sure. So we were founded in 2007, which is always so crazy for me to say out loud, by Sarah Sutton. And she saw a gap in her ability to find employment. She was pregnant at the time, and she wanted to do something that was flexible, that would allow her to kind of, choose her own hours, but was still professional. She didn't want to give up her career And so when she started looking, she was discovering there just wasn't anything that really fit the bill. So out of that came FlexJobs, the idea that there are these flexible professional roles out there. You can find them, but there are a ton of scams that come with them. So really being able to filter through and make sure that what you're looking at is legitimate is a big ask. And we talk to people regularly that think they've got a great role, and we end up looking a little further and it's not. So having a one-stop shop to be able to get to a professional, flexible career is a wonderful thing to be able to do.
Absolutely. Thank you a little bit for that history, because you're right. I mean, it is incredibly, and it's fundamental when you are searching, especially for remote work. Although, in recent months, the highlight in the upbringing of awareness of remote work and remote roles has been, it's just a little bit more abundant right now. But with that also comes scams. So I'm glad that we are here to talk about what to expect, what the site does, but also that you do vet your, these opportunities are vetted, and we are super excited that we are going to be able to share the wealth of accessibility with our constituents, with our Blue Star families, Spouseforce community members. So remember, we have 50 complimentary memberships plus more, potentially more, as you continue to be part of our Spouseforce Facebook group, our virtual community, and continue to engage. But so I have the PowerPoint here. I have a presentation for you guys to be able to walk us through. So tell me a little bit more about us.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is our career coaching program that we have through FlexJobs. So if you wanted to go ahead and move forward a little bit, that would be great. Thank you. And we'll go ahead and, as Jess touched upon, yes, we are a membership site. So that's the difference between our job board and say like LinkedIn or Indeed. And that's solely so that we can vet those positions that are posted on the website along with the employers. And so we have helped over 5.6 million job seekers. And we have screened over 55,000 companies. So I think that's one of the things that I personally liked about FlexJobs. I started using them in a professional sense in 2012, was that I liked that it was free of scam. And then I used them myself as a personal searcher in 2018 and was able to find a freelance contract position through FlexJobs. And then I came on later on in 2019 as an employee. So they're a really solid job search site with a lot of great resources behind them and history. I like that they're well established as well. So here, our main goal at FlexJobs with our career coaching program is to really help you guys become independent job seekers. We provide you with the tools, the tips, and the tactics to really gain that insight and then to move forward in developing action-oriented and goal-specific career plans so that you guys can find the right ways of job searching that fits your needs. We are not necessarily ongoing contact in terms of weekly communication. That would be something that's more career counseling based, that's focused on career development. We do have resources to help those, but that's in a more of a self-help capacity. Our career coaching is a one-on-one service that is very goal-oriented and short-term based. Next slide, please. Laura, thanks. We do offer some free resources. We have job search webinars that are open to the public. You do not have to be a FlexJobs member for those, but the other two services are for FlexJobs members. So we do have coach Q&A sessions to help you guys answer some really general common remote job search questions that you may have. We have those on Wednesdays and Wednesdays and Mondays. And again, like I said, those are open to the FlexJobs members. We also have a career advice library where you have on-demand answers to common job search questions that you can pull up and review at any moment. Please know that with these being membership sites, if you do sign up for any of our webinars or even our coaching Q&A, you will receive that recording and the resources to that recording within a week's time. So it's a great way for you to start compiling your own research database on what you might need to conduct your own remote job search. Next slide, thanks. For those that do choose to become memberships and those that actually win a membership, We do offer 4 free-based services, and a lot of these services are drastically reduced. We do really believe that in paying for the membership and then also for this, you guys need to get it at a really reasonable price. So I will say, honestly, as a career counselor, career coach, has been in the industry for 20 some years, the prices are really great. We do have a 30-minute career coaching session, a resume review package, and then a bundle, which is a career coaching with the resume review. And then we recently just opened a mock interview package, which has become very popular within the past few weeks. So these are services that we offer for fee. And then lastly, next, thanks. Some of the benefits of coaching is really just for you guys to grow and gain your confidence, become more comfortable in job seeking. Nobody likes job seeking. It's not fun. And that's why we're here to help you guys. We actually enjoy aspects of the job seeking process. Really, I think what we like the most is knowing that we're making an actual contribution to somebody's life. And that through that quick partnership and identification of what your problems might be, we can create targeted solutions and then help you guys move forward. And that's really what it's about. A lot of times through that discussion, we get to check about assumptions, and maybe it turns out that it's more clarification and confirmation that you might need. And then we follow up with best tips and practices and resources for navigating the remote and flexible workspace. It is a little different, but it's not going away. And that's probably one of the best things about the pandemic, is that there's more opportunities. And employers are really starting to understand just the great value that military spouses bring because of the adaptability, the flexibility, the constant change that we have to deal with. And that's everything that came about in the pandemic. So having that now be our shining light, something that we've had for years, that we finally now get to say, hey, I've done it and I'm going to continue to do it, it is great. So that's a positive.
Now, I do want to say to you, Tracy, I do love job searching. I love job searching and looking at job opportunities. I just don't like applying, but I love job searching for our community, on behalf of our community. So I'm glad that you are allowing us, others will have the opportunity to go onto the site and explore, like I do, opportunities that are available.
And just lastly, for those that don't win a membership, we do offer a 50% off of the FlexJobs subscription through ID Me. So that's available to you guys as well. But great.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is it for that. And we definitely encourage you to again, if you are able to, with this membership, to go on, explore the site, be able to, take advantage of all those amazing content and job opportunities that are available, but also, the blogs, the webinars, everything else that Tracy just mentioned. Those are all resources that are available to you at your site so that you can continue to explore and just take further your membership. Now, one of the things that I always like to share with our community when you are ready to take the membership is activate it when you are ready, really ready, because time goes by really fast. And if you activate it now, but you have situations going on in your life and you're not able to quite take full advantage of it, then don't activate it yet until you are actually ready to commit yourself to the exploratory phase and everything else. So, anything else, Tracy, that we should know or that we can continue to share with our community?
No, nothing more. I'm excited for Jess to demo the site so that everybody gets to see just how great it is.
Perfect. And I would like to ask those of you who have questions, please post them. We will address those to you at the end. If you have questions directly about job searching and remote opportunities, what is one remote versus, flexible, and all these other things that we normally do, we talk about or we hear throughout, post them. We'll make sure that we address those towards the end, as soon as Jess discusses the best way to navigate the site, as well as tell us where you're watching, because we want to send you a shout out towards the end. We want to be able to share with the FlexJobs community that who is representing. So we are live in multiple platforms here, multiple communities. We're all the way to New York, as well as all the way in Utah, as well as on LinkedIn, YouTube. So wherever you're watching us, make sure that you post, as well as if you are not yet a member of Blue Star Careers, our Spouseforce program, there's a link for you to search for the group and join us. And again, share the wealth of knowledge so that you can continue to pay it forward and continue to enjoy some of the perks that we provide for our Spouseforce members. So Jess, take it away.
All right, let me get my screen sharing here. All right, are you able to see that?
We are.
Okay.
There it is.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to start with a image of the public site, because they are a little bit different based on whether or not you are a member, or if you're just looking to see if the membership is a good fit for you. So we always recommend, kind of taking a look. You can scroll down and see some of the benefits here on the homepage. We also have this really fabulous tour. So if you have anything that you have questions about, maybe different career categories that we have, or anything, that's all listed, some companies we've worked with. So just to get a really good kind of snapshot of what FlexJobs does, that's a really great place to start. So a lot of people obviously come to FlexJobs specifically looking for jobs. And we do see a lot of people looking for remote work. And, like Laura was just saying, we have seen a shift in employment with pandemic, and we've seen a lot of companies start to kind of come to terms with the fact that working from home isn't something that means that you're lazy, or that you don't have a career goal, or something like that in mind. You really do have the ability to get great candidates, and oftentimes great candidates you wouldn't have access to in your local area, because you're opening up that pool a little bit wider. So yeah, to kind of get an idea, I'll show you guys just a general search on we'll say writing. We do always recommend that you put in your location. The reason for that is that companies do often have location requirements, either because of certifications or taxes. There's any number of reasons that a company may have a location requirement. I know for military spouses, being able to move flexibly can be something that's really important. So I'll show you kind of how to look for employers that are a little more flexible with their locations as well. But we recommend you can either put in your city, state, or country, or zip code. Any of those will work in that location area. So I'll go ahead and just put in a zip code there. So you're going to get, as an unpaid member, you're going to get a really quick, short description that's going to give you some basic information about the job you're looking at. So you'll be able to see if it's full-time or part-time, if it's remote, the level of remote that it is. If it's a freelancing, it'll list there as well. If it's part-time. So all of that information is going to be listed right underneath the job title. And then we also include this short description to kind of talk about what this job is about. So the one thing you'll notice is if you click this, you're actually going to see, again, just really basic, small information, but you won't be able to see the company or the benefits or apply to the role. So we really recommend, especially if you're on the fence about, is FlexJobs going to be right for me? Do they have the right types of jobs? You can search before you join. So I always like to let people know that, because if you're in a very obscure, career path where you're a little bit worried about maybe there aren't going to be those types of roles for me, this is a really, really great way to make sure that we do have things that are open. So I like to always let people know you can search 24/7, even without a paid subscription, and be able to kind of get an idea of what we have on the site that is currently available. So that can be a really, really helpful thing to do. So the other thing that I really want to show you guys is what it's going to look like when you are a paid subscriber. So when a paid subscriber has logged in, it's going to look a little bit different in a lot of different ways. So let me actually just go here to the homepage. So as you can see, you're going to have kind of a similar looking homepage, except for you've got your dashboard to go to instead of a tour. So this is going to include all of the information regarding your account. So any messages you may have, new jobs of interest. If you have, if we've got any upcoming events, like Tracy was talking about, we really do have wonderful events available for both non-members and members, but we really do our best to try and support our members as best as possible to make sure that they're getting, the best of the information, and that they're also really, really utilizing their membership to the best of their ability. So As we scroll down here, we've got some areas for articles. I'll touch on that in a second, as well as resumes. We've got some information about learning centers. And then if you're interested in, remote job trends, those can also be listed here. But the big difference, again, is going to be that search. So we recommend, and Tracy and I do this kind of differently, so we can kind of ping pong back and forth how there's some different options on how you can search. So again, I'll do just the same search that we did before, just for simplicity. But you can see when you do a search as a logged in member, you can now see who the company is. You can also save the jobs. You can save a search. There are many filters that you can run here as well. So if you're looking, just for 100% remote, you can select that as an option. If you're looking for something that's entry level, if you're looking for something that's part-time, you can start adding these filters on and really getting much more specific listings. And this can be really helpful because, as you know, when we first did this search, there's thousands of jobs. And I think a lot of people get very overwhelmed very quickly with, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what would be a good fit. This is, this is a little too much. So that's always our recommendation, is really use these filters, and you can always play with them. So you can say, what, I actually don't want entry level. Let's go for experienced. And it'll change the listings for you. And if you find a situation where you have a search that really, really is working well and giving you the types of results you're looking for, you can actually save the search too. So we like to make it really, really easy to run the search again. Put that in there. I think I might already have one. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we make it so that you can run this exact search with these exact filters every single time. So again, I want to touch base on location really quick, and then we'll talk about the advanced search here in just a moment. So every single job you will see there's going to have some sort of indicating flag or marker next to the type of flexibility. And what this is going to indicate is that the job is either available internationally, nationally, or kind of in a more local scenario. So when you search by location, those searches will automatically include everything that is available US nationally and globally. So you're not losing any opportunities by putting a location in. I'll show you kind of what happens if you don't. It makes things a little messier. So we really do recommend putting that location in. So again, as we're looking through, you can see this is a US national open position. So any of these from Denver, Colorado would be something that you could apply to with those criteria. We do have them sometimes where you'll see this, where it's got the US flag and then a Canadian flag. That means that they're open to candidates either in the US or Canada. And then this is a situation where they're looking specifically for a local candidate. And so if you see something where it's got the city and state, that is where they want the job candidate to be located. I know sometimes people get confused and think that it's where the company is located, but it's really where the candidate themselves needs to be located. So I really like to make that clear for people so that they're not applying to things or looking at things that just wouldn't be a good fit. Because there's nothing, even if you love job searching, there's nothing more depressing than finding the perfect job and then realizing that it's not in your location or something that you just can't apply to. So that's a really important thing that we really want to point out for people. So quickly, I'll just show you what happens if you run a search without a location. You're going to see everything. So now we've got, again, thousands and thousands of roles. But we'll see things like this where it's for New Orleans. If I'm in Colorado, I'm not going to want to apply to this role. But I'll show you, if you go in here, again, it'll show you the location. We have a little stop gate here, and I really want to show this to military spouses specifically because people get really confused and upset. So I want to show you kind of a workaround for something. So if you click apply, it will first tell you this job has a location requirement and our records don't show you're in that location. Well, let's say you're moving locations, and so you're looking for roles where you're going to be going. You can click this apply button again, and it will show you the job. So you're not blocked from anything on the site at all. You can look at everything regardless of location. So I just like to kind of point that out because I know we sometimes have people who are saying, I am here right now, but I won't be for much longer. So that's an important piece of kind of looking for the roles. So yeah, if you find things that are a great fit, your next click will be to apply to the job. All of the links will take you to the information the employer has provided on how they'd like their applications processed. So we'll get all of the information directly from them, and you'll be able to move forward with applying for those jobs. So Tracy, do you want to talk a little bit about the advanced search and how you guys use that with coaching, just so we've got
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
So with the advanced search, we kind of use this the same way that Jess just spoke about the search bar up top. So we really definitely agree with what Laura said at the beginning. Go more on your job function. So think more about those transferable skills, what you guys really like doing in your work, whether that work is paid work, volunteer work, or in the home work, any type of working environment, what that job function is. When you go more on function, you kind of can broaden your opportunities, and then from there you can read those results and narrow it down. So let's just go with a customer service. That's your second one down. Great, thanks, Jess. That can be a job title. It can also be a job function. So I like how it's multi-purposed. Then for your US location underneath, I do agree with Jess, and I did see one of the questions pop in. What about if you're overseas? Should you put in your location for where you pay taxes? That's an interesting question, and one that you need to consider. Always keep that checked box where it says open to candidates anywhere in the US to cover that. In terms of for taxes, it's not necessarily where you, as the job worker, the candidate pays taxes. It's more for where the employer pays taxes. So say, for instance, FlexJobs, we do have several military spouses that are employees and freelancers within the company, but all of us had to meet a location requirement. So I'm stationed in North Carolina, but I am a Florida resident. So I had to meet North Carolina hiring law for FlexJobs in order to meet the hireability piece. So I would encourage you to put your current location as well as being open to candidates, whether that's US or candidates anywhere in the world. Make sure both of those are checked. And then underneath from there, we can choose those subheaders that Jess had mentioned earlier about remote work level, work schedule. That looks more, 100%. Work schedule looks more at how you're going to actually complete that work. How's that work conducted? Are you a part-time worker? Do you need a flexible schedule? Are you open to more alternative schedules, alternative hours? So you can really customize it when you go further in here. What I really like is under the featured and award-winning employers, we have a drop-down that shows you our military-friendly, there it is, right there, our military-friendly employers. And you can, yes, we have
I was going to ask you that question. I had that asking to later on submit. So post your questions if you have some. Don't be like Laura interrupting.
Oh, I love it.
But I did have that one. I'm glad you brought it up right now because I was going to ask you, do you have military spouse-friendly employers?
We do.
Or is there such a thing on your job search key skills?
Yep. So can you run that search, Jess, and see what comes up? So that came up with 706 jobs, and out of like 25,000. So, and that I didn't even go into, do you want to be full-time, part-time? Do you want to be entry-leveled? Do you want to travel? That's another question that we often talk to our military spouses about, is the travel component, because we know often it's our partners that travel and we get to stay home. And sometimes we want to travel. We want to get out. And so that's something that you need to think about as well. So when you do this, you can save this, and then it's always there in your dashboard so that you can go back. Just click on that saved search and all of the new entries will populate into that saved search, which is excellent. Thank you, Jess.
Great.
Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. So there you have it. So you are going to get, some of you are going to get the ability to be able to qualify for, to earn one of those 50 memberships that we're giving away, so that you can go on and explore the site, allow you to really navigate and look for the opportunities that you have available. And so I want to just take this moment right now to share with you guys a little bit more of what's coming up in recap on what's coming up with our community and Spouseforce, but also remind you that in order for you to be eligible for this 50 memberships or more, because we have more actually throughout our Facebook group, is you have to be part of our community, Spouseforce. So make sure that you join. There is the link, join, and we're celebrating military spouses all month long. We have 2 more workshops available, plus other live mini segments where we bring you other resources and other activities to spotlight. So we are celebrating you all month long. It's not just a day here at Blue Star Families and Careers. We are doing it all month long. So again, this 3-month membership would allow you a chance for you to go on there and really explore the entire site, have access to the job opportunities applied, be able to, again, review all the best practices and everything else that Jess and Tracy shared. And for you to be able to do that now, we are going to do, of course, honor the registration. So if you watch this replay and you want to participate, we don't want to leave anybody out until Friday. So anyone that still registers until they stamp until Friday, those are the ones that will be entered, and you do have to be a military spouse. So also the next activities, next Wednesday, the 19th, and then Wednesday the 26th. Make sure that you RSVP is also part of the same registration, so you have a chance there to explore and to review what are some of those topics going to be about, and be able to qualify for a Chromebook giveaway. So Tracy, do you know of any other program organization that gives away stuff and appreciates military spouses so much besides FlexJobs?
Actually, I was surprised hearing all that you guys are giving away Chromebooks. That's excellent.
We want military spouses to find employment, to get connected, and to really, really navigate and find the resources and support them in every capacity that we are able to do it. And thanks to all the, of course, for the sponsorships and to generous donations from our sponsors of our program, investors that allow us to do that. So, but right now I want to take any time right now to acknowledge and ask questions, acknowledge the questions that we have, and acknowledge people who are watching. And we have someone over on LinkedIn that said, I love FlexJobs. So thank you so much for sharing that. We do have a question here. Hello from military mom daughter. And it's a little bit long, but serving in the it's a mom. Her daughter serving in the U.S. Army. So thank you so much, Mom, for your service as well. And then we have another comment. Oh my God, yes, gotta thank them also, of course. There you go. That's actually just goes back to the comment. So here we got Melissa Carey all the way from, where are you watching from, Melissa? Make sure that you tell us where you're watching. And if you have any questions specifically, let us know. And Christine, make sure that you have registered for this so that you are able to be eligible for these opportunities to enjoy the complimentary membership. And then we have Kelly all the way from Oceanside, California, my neighbor. I'm right here in San Marcos. So we're almost, once we reopen here in the area, I might be able to enjoy some coffee. We have, all the way from Virginia, Melissa, thank you for watching and supporting. Make sure you share the link, share the replay with those in your community. And we'll also send all the way to West Point, New York. Have you guys traveled all the way to West Point, New York? Tell us a little bit here. Where have you guys been all over the States? What about you, Tracy? Where's your military lifestyle taking you?
Oh my. We've been to the Pacific Northwest. My husband's been to Korea. That was an unaccompanied tour. So I went and visited. Then we've been to the Southeast, Georgia. Then we went to Florida. Now we've been in North Carolina. We've been to Colorado, did a quick little stint there in Colorado. And now we're PCSing to Texas. So we will be moving there and giving Austin a chance. So excited about that opportunity. I've done less traveling than my husband. He's the one who's come and gone a lot. So we're excited for the next opportunity to kind of put some roots down and see what Texas is like.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. And if not so, look, there's Carrie all the way to Hawaii. So aloha. Maybe you will be able to find a great opportunity out there, and then build a great community. Now, I do have a question here. I wanted to bring it up. It says, what about if you are stationed overseas you put your location where you pay taxes. And I think you did spotted this question earlier, Tracy, but you want to revisit on that, please, for us?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. So always be aware that sometimes that location requirement, as Jess said, is because they would like you to be in that location, but that employer has to be able to meet the hiring standards of that state. So I would encourage you to put both locations, that you're open to anywhere in the world, anywhere in the US, but also your state location. Little bit as an aside, I think it was the 2009 Military Spouse Employment Relief Act, where if you are a W-4 classified employee, meaning you're a permanent employee, and you reside in a state that does not pay state income tax, you do not have to pay the state income tax of the state you live in. So I am a Florida resident. I do not pay Florida state income tax, but North Carolina does. And so for years, as a freelance, self-employed person, I had to pay state income tax. But the minute I became a permanent employee with FlexJobs, I no longer had to pay North Carolina state income tax. So be aware of also those perks that come back to you depending upon which state you do live in. But you do want to make sure that you meet the hiring requirements of the location you're in.
Absolutely. And by all means, we're not tax professionals, although that was part of my previous job experience, but I'm not certified anymore. So any final decisions when it comes to you filing and what the tax bracket and all that stuff, always check with your local personal advisor so that you know what best works for you. But based on our own personal experience, I can tell you the same thing, kind of like what Tracy shared. I used to pay when I was not a California resident. I used to be exempt from California and then be an Oregon resident and then back and forth and be able to switch that. But again, check with your local professional who provides that kind of service for you so that you get the most accurate information. Now, I do have another question for you, Tracy or Jess. Someone is going to be moving overseas here and wants to know the husband next door. So are there any remote employment opportunities that can also accommodate time zone difference? How does that work?
Yeah, so it is up to the employer themselves. They kind of determine what they're looking for as far as, time zones and their flexibility. A lot of times, especially when you're looking at international roles, they're kind of inherently going to come with flexible schedules just because of the fact if you've got people who are in Australia as well as in England, maybe they have a 24/7 kind of support situation where they do have rolling time. It's specific to each employer, but I know when I started here, one of our military spouses was in Germany. And so she was always working in the middle of the night, and when we were all asleep, and we'd wake up and have all of her information. So it really just depends on what the employer themselves is comfortable with, but it certainly can be done regardless of time zone.
Got it. Okay. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. And I do have another question. Somebody was asking, and again, clarify this for me, because my understanding, you are vetting all these companies. So what is your vetting process to our knowledge, or to really be aware that these are not scams? Because there's a question here. Does the website filter out scammers? Absolutely.
So we actually, every single role that's on our site is looked at by 2 live human beings. Nothing is just scraped and put onto the site. So we have multiple people who are actually putting eyes on both the company, the link itself, and the job itself. And so we decline roughly 60% of what comes across our desks because it can't fit that criteria. So if we're on the fence at all, if we have any nerves about a job, we won't list it, because we do really want to ensure that every single role that you're applying to on FlexJobs is A, with a vetted and valuable company, and B, the legitimate company's link as well. Because we've seen scammers do things like United Health Group, where of course the doorbell rings, where they'll have United Health Groups as the website, which is not United Health Group, and they'll mimic it so that it looks like it's exactly the same, and it's not a legitimate thing. So we really do all of that down to the link itself, making sure it's correct.
Yeah. Okay. And one last question before we wrap this up and go take care of the door. But let's address this question here. Someone who's looking for a job online. There are several job postings, cannot be in California. So she is a resident of Florida and have to put 2 location addresses. How does that work? Again, and you had already addressed this, Tracy, a little bit more. So if she's in one state, but she's a resident of the other state, I think that's where it's getting confusing.
Okay, so she's
sometimes for
residing in
people.
California right now, but she's a military
Correct.
spouse. Okay.
Yes.
So she would have to definitely make sure that that fits with the employer. It would also depend upon if she's going to be going for a full-time employment status or if she's going for more of a freelance status as well. So we are finding sometimes, especially in California, that freelancers are now more heavily regulated than they were in the past because of the new 85 rule that came out, new law that came out in January 2020. So they want to be aware of that. I would encourage her to put in both locations. And then if the company is residing in California, she needs to make sure that they would be willing to hire her on, though she would be a Florida resident, because she may need to meet California specific hiring law for that location if it is a location specific position. So it's not a clear-cut answer. Sorry. I wish it could be, but it's not.
And we do
absolutely. And it all depends. It's rare, but for most part, try to figure out and find employments that are, in my experience, that are targeted towards your state. Mm-hmm. Because that's where, again, it's not necessarily about you, believe it or not. I'm sorry, but it's usually about the business need of the employer, mm-hmm. which is good. I mean, if you're residing in a state that it's remote friendly state, which means that they have multiple opportunities for you to be able to access. Make sure that you take advantage of those and search that. But again, these memberships that we're giving away is precisely for that, so that you can go in there and navigate and explore the opportunities. So we're getting ready to our time now. We're going to start wrapping it up. But any last tips, Tracy? Any last thoughts, call of actions for military spouses, particularly since you belong to our community, mm-hmm. that you can encourage you how to take advantage of all this great resources out in the community and be a successful remote job seeker?
Yep, I do. I encourage you guys to take a look at the free tour. Hopefully you'll win one of the complimentary memberships. But as Jess showed you, spend a little bit of time exploring the sites and start thinking about what's best going to fit your family and your needs, and start thinking more about job function. What do you enjoy from work? And not so much the titles, so that you can then start generating a list of potential opportunities and be open to exploring and know when planned exploration actually meets with opportunity and you jump. That's my tip.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
What about you, Ms. Jess? What are some of those call of actions, last minute tips, or anything that you can share, words of wisdom for our community to really take advantage of all these great resources?
Absolutely. So I would suggest, if you have not yet, there is an area on one of the tabs across the top of the site titled Articles. We have been working with career writers, career coaches since 2007. I actually read an excessive amount of articles when I went to interview with the CEO of FlexJobs when I was first getting hired. I took a bunch of the tips from that to actually successfully land my career. So definitely recommend reading the articles, checking into career coaching. They're great. They have, the resources to really get more personalized with you. And then if you're stuck or getting confused, always reach out. We have a great customer service department that is happy to help make sure that you're maybe not missing something with search or something with your account. So that's my recommendations.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for all of you for watching. And I do want to remind you too, of course, if you're a military spouse, you're a military service member, you are a family connected to the military, take our 2021 Military Lifestyle Survey, which is open right now. Share your career story, because your story is important for us to continue to advocate, find resources like this one, continue to advocate on your behalf and tell the story about your career journey, and be able to identify future resources and advocacy pieces for our community, so that we can all continue to advance and and progress towards career readiness and find that amazing career and a seat at the workforce at your local level. So take the survey. There's the link. Make sure that you go to our website at bluestaffab.org. You can find the survey and take it today. So thank you so much, Tracy and Jess, for joining me today. I hope it didn't go very long, but you have such an amazing, great information to share, and we're very appreciative of FlexJobs and to our community for watching, supporting, to all of your comments. Thank you so much, and stay tuned. Go to our Spouseforce Facebook group in our virtual community, and so that you can find out who are those selectees, as well as continue to enjoy the rest of the month, all the activities that we have available for you to celebrate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Bye.
Bye-bye.